Hey everybody, it's Matt Shu from Upright Health, and in today's video we're going to be talking about exercises, really simple exercises that you can do if you've been told you have fibromyalgia and you have these aches and pains up in your neck and your shoulders. If you've watched any of my other videos, you know that I have suffered with a lot of chronic pain all over my body, my hips, my feet, my knees, my elbows, my wrists, my shoulders, my upper back up in these upper shoulder neck areas, even my lower back. I have seen it all, experienced it all over a very, very long and annoying period of time. So it's one of my missions to help people understand what these aches and pains mean and what they can do in a proactive way to make their bodies feel better and move better. So today we're just going to focus on some easy things you can do to start making your shoulders, that trapezius and supraspinatus and cervical area feel a lot better. If you've been given the fibromyalgia diagnosis, it means you have some trigger points in some very specific areas. Now, what I've found over the course of my life and working with other people who have chronic pain is these trigger points that are supposed to be specific to fibromyalgia are actually pretty widespread in the population that lives in the modern world. Where, in this modern world, we're generally sitting in positions that really weaken the muscles back here, that really allow poor shoulder position, and then start putting stress and strain and sending pain signals all around, all into our brains from this area. So we have this neck stuff that just bugs us. We got this shoulder area that just bugs us. And a lot of times what we're told is we should stretch more. We should do a bunch of stretches for the neck. Anywhere that feels tight, stretch, stretch, stretch. And then what becomes frustrating is that the stretching doesn't seem to really make anything better. It just sort of makes things feel a little bit better for a little while, like during the period that you're stretching. And then after like 5-10 minutes, then all that strain starts coming back. And then at that point, you're often told all you can do is rest and hope that that tightness goes away. Of course, if you're like me, what you've found is resting and stretching just doesn't seem to make that tightness go away. So over the years, I got frustrated. I did a lot of experimenting, and now I've seen the same thing happen with a number of clients who have had these same issues. And the trick is you need to actually use those muscles and not keep trying to rest them more. So this is something that you can try really easily at home. You can do this at the office if you're still able to work at a computer at this point. Basically, what we want to do is start training the shoulders to sit in a better position. So for example, a lot of times we're here, like I said earlier, we're just stuck in these positions. We need to start learning how to get those shoulders back and into a better position. So to do that, what we want to do is actually just do something simple. It's basically just pulling your shoulder blades together like that. So if you watch from this angle, I'm just pulling back like this, pulling the shoulder blades together, right? I'm just going together with the shoulder blades the whole time, okay? What that's doing is actually helping engage muscles like the mid-traps and the rhomboids to position the shoulder blades in a better spot. That also helps stretch out muscles here in front. So one of the other areas where you are supposed to get trigger points when you have, or supposed to have trigger points when you have this fibromyalgia thing, is trigger points up here in the front of the chest, right? You get this tightness, you get this stuff under the clavicle. This whole area, there's a bunch of muscle here that can get really jammed up because we're constantly in this position. So by opening up like this, we're stretching this out and activating and engaging muscles that help stabilize the shoulder blade. The added benefit of doing this exercise is that you are getting the workload spread around better. So by engaging the middle traps, the rhomboids, and even a little bit of the lower traps, what we're doing is telling all these muscles here and between the shoulder blades, we're telling those muscles, hey, I want you to help stabilize things so that these muscles and these muscles up here can actually calm down. Okay, these muscles are doing a lot of compensating for the muscles that aren't working back here. So we can do these. And if you're just starting, if you've never done anything like this before, it's going to feel weird. So really pay attention. Make sure you feel muscles working back there. Make sure you feel the shoulder blades pulling together. Okay, you can do that for 3 sets of 10. As you get better at it, feel free to do it even more than that. You can do sets of 20, sets of 30. as you are going through your day, you're going to find those pretty helpful. You can do that multiple times a day. Highly unlikely you can overdo those exercises. If you're first starting out, you might get a little soreness, but it's totally okay. Now, the next thing you want to do, once you've figured out how to do this without any excess weird motions like this, is actually pull the shoulders back and now add a very specific motion, which is the shrug. So this is basically saying, I don't know, right? You're pulling the shoulder blades together and then you're going up and down, up and down. So now you might be thinking, well, Matt, that's going to make these trigger points and this tightness here around my neck a lot worse, isn't it? And my answer to that is no, it's probably not, because you've probably already been doing all these things to stretch it out and basically try to weaken these muscles. And you've probably done that a lot, and that hasn't actually relieved your tension. So what I'm asking you to do now is actually move these muscles, get some blood going through them, get your brain talking to those muscles, so those muscles can actually start learning how to do their jobs properly. So we're just pulling together here, just coming up and down, pulling together, up and down, pulling together, up and down. I want to be really clear here, if you watch from the side, when I'm pulling together, I'm going up and down, I am still keeping the shoulder blades together, right? Then I can relax and then pull together again, up and down, and then you can relax it here. I do not want you to go forward with it. You're just going back, up, down, and then just relax it, but don't let it come all the way like that. You keep it back, up, down like that. Let it here if you want to, back, up, down, just like that, okay? The important part of this is to keep the shoulder blades together as you go up and down, okay? That's teaching your body, again, to hold the shoulder blades in a better position as you're moving the whole shoulder girdle, okay? So that's going to help actually relieve some of this just by getting blood moving through there and getting your body, used to actually moving and stabilizing. Same sets and reps. You can do that 3 sets of 10, go up to 15, go up to 20, do it throughout the day. I found when I was first trying to figure out how to knock all this pain out that I had to do these things a lot. But what I'm going to show you next is going to help you kind of speed things along so that you don't feel like you're just spending all day doing just those exercises. So the next exercise that you can do is called the standing arm circles. So standing arm circles are pretty simple. Again, we're going to be working the same skill of pulling the shoulder blades together. You keep the shoulder blades together and you bring your arms out to the side. Then I'm going to have you do a little kung fu grip. You're going to bend your fingers in towards the palms, just like that. And then you have the thumb still extended just like this. So then you've got your hands out to the side. And then what you're going to do is pull your shoulder blades together. And then you're going to just draw some circles. It's like you're swimming. It's like you are a Olympic swimmer. Who's that guy? Michael Phelps. You're trying to do the butterfly stroke forward, forward, forward. And you want to watch yourself in the mirror to make sure your arms are not doing really weird different things. You don't want like one arm way down here if at all possible. You want to try to get things as even as possible. So when you're looking in the mirror, everything's doing roughly the same thing. Okay. So you're going to make these circles with about like 5 to 6 inch diameters. So it's kind of like if I were like going around like somebody else's hand, I'd have to go around like that. So you can see that diameter. I'm just coming around like that. You can play with different diameters, but if you get like super wide, it stops being quite as effective, I find, but you can definitely try different things. Going like this and just wildly swinging is not effective. You need to make sure you feel muscles working to help control this. So we're just coming in just like that, okay? Now we're gonna go, when you first start, you might only get 10, okay? Try to get to 20, try to get to 40, see if you can even get to 100. Wonderful, right? Then what you can do is turn so that the palms are up and the thumbs are now facing backwards, and then you're going to go backwards and do the same thing. Again, watch yourself in the mirror, make sure you're not doing wildly different things from side to side, and just keep going as many as you can until you get a little bit of fatigue. Now, the other thing you want to watch out for is that the shoulders don't start doing this. So when you're in the mirror, you don't see this. We want to keep those motions separate. We want to be able to keep the shoulder blades together as we're moving our arms, rather. Okay, so that's another exercise that you can do, again, throughout the day to help you build up some more of this strength. So then you're starting to use your deltoids quite a bit. You are using your supraspinatus quite a bit. a little bit of upper traps, but a lot of supraspinatus, a lot of delts to help, again, spread the load so that the right muscles are doing the right thing to help stabilize your shoulder girdle. That takes a lot of strain out of your neck. Okay, so we're gonna look at one more exercise that you can do with some light weights to keep speeding this along. And then I'll give you another exercise even after that that you can do with those same weights to help pump more blood through the neck and shoulder muscles to get things feeling even better. So this next exercise just requires some light weights. If you are just starting out doing this, something like 5 pounds is fine. Some people may need to use lighter weights. So if you feel like this is really tough, if you try to do this exercise and things pinch or it just doesn't feel doable or you have to grit your teeth to do it, it's probably too heavy. So I'm just starting off here with 5-pound weights. This usually works for most people. You're gonna just pull the shoulder blades together again. Notice that that's a recurring theme here. You keep the shoulder blades together and then you're gonna pull up and out to the side like this, okay? So you're just trying to get your hands out to the side, basically level with your shoulders and then back down. I've got my palms pointing straight down. I'm not doing this. I'm not doing anything funny here. I definitely don't have my thumbs pointing down. I want to have my palms pointing down as I come up. Shoulder blades stay together. So as I'm going, I'm also not shrugging up. I'm just keeping the shoulder blades together and going out to the side. This is a progression from the standing arm circles. So if you find the arm circles are getting pretty easy, you can definitely be moving to these and using some weight. If you find these are too heavy, it'll look like this. It'll go like that. You're gonna be shrugging, you're gonna be fighting, and you're probably not gonna reach the full height. So if you're starting at 5 and you see yourself doing that, knock it down to 2-pound weights, knock it down to a can of soup, knock it down to a bottle of water. In a week's time, you can move the weight up and see if you can do that heavier weight. This is about gradual progression. This is about gradually training your body to figure out how to fire the right muscles to help stabilize things, okay? So this one, I'd recommend just doing 3 sets of 10. You probably can get away with it 3 times a day, but I'd suggest you stick to 1 to 2 times a day. And especially as the weight gets heavier, once this weight is anywhere near like 8 or 10 pounds, then you probably don't need to be doing it multiple times a day because then you actually start making muscles sore from working too much, okay? But that's still better than not working enough, in my opinion, okay? So, final exercise I promised you, same weights, although you'll probably be able to do more once you get comfortable with the motion. It's just something that's as simple as holding the weights here and then pressing up overhead, okay? So I'm going to give you a real good view of this from the side and the front. Okay, so from the side view, I'm taking these dumbbells and I'm putting them basically right next to my head. And you can see that my elbows are actually a little bit in front of where my hands are, like this line here, straight up and down. My hand is over here, right? It's over here. So it's not like right over, it's just like this. So I have this easy resting position. My elbows are kind of scooped forward. So from this position, I'm just going to push those weights up overhead like this. Now, this is a bit of a trickier exercise, so I want you to really pay attention to getting the arms right up alongside your ear. If this is too tough, you actually probably need to do some other stretching before doing this exercise. So if you find yourself here and you can't bring it back, then there's probably a lot of other things, not a lot, but there are some other things you're going to need to do to help you achieve that position. So then just don't do this exercise. But if you can achieve this, wonderful. If you can't achieve it with a certain weight, try a lower weight. Right now we're again using the 5s. Many people will find the 5s are totally doable. Might be a little bit of a struggle, but not too bad. As you progress on this, just be mindful that you continue to get the same full range of motion on it without cheating here, okay? On this, again, I would say 3 sets of 5 to 10 actually. This is actually a pretty tough exercise for a lot of people. As you get better and better at it, you can start bumping the weight up by 2.5 to 5 pounds at a time. I would suggest sticking to that 3 sets of 5 to 10 since you're just starting to lift weights. And this one I would definitely not do more than twice a day. And because it's so difficult, you may want to stick to just once every other day to make sure you're not overtaxing yourself. But your body will send you signals if you're overdoing it. So don't worry too much if you find that you do the exercise twice a day, you don't feel any problem. It's totally okay for you to try to do a little bit more or use a heavier weight. You have to tune into your body and figure out what's going to work best for your body based on the signals that it's sending you. So that's going to be the final exercise for this. Give you a bunch of different exercises that you can do to start waking up the right muscles to help you with that discomfort that often gets called fibromyalgia, that discomfort that creeps up on a lot of people who are just stuck at an office desk all day. So I hope that helps you out, and I hope you remember that pain sucks. Life shouldn't. If you liked the video, don't forget to like, share, and comment, and don't forget to subscribe.